In today's video, we have a special guest that will share a great strategy to help eBay sellers become profitable. This special guest has made 7-figure revenue across multiple stores. He's also one of the leading mentors in the industry, coaches from personal experience, and has helped lots of sellers just like you to turn e-commerce into a full-time job. Now, if you're struggling to become profitable, don't go anywhere. I'm serious. Make sure to watch it from beginning to end so you don't miss any information that could and that will change your life forever, because the interview is going to be amazing. So let's not waste time and let's jump into it. So let's welcome Michael Girvan. Thank you so much for being here. How are you, my friend?
Yes, mate. Thanks for having me on. I am absolutely brilliant. I cannot complain. It's a lovely sunny day here. I'm doing my own thing. It's almost the weekend. So yeah, I'm really good. We're in a good place. We've had a good week. It's been busy. Yeah, 100%. How about you?
Nice. I've been good. Same thing. Sunny day here. About to enjoy the weekend as well. Going surfing.
Nice, yes.
Those things.
It's probably a bit warmer where you are. I'm in Northern Ireland, so it's like it's sunny, but it's still very, very cold. But I'll take it over the rain, which we normally get. So I can't complain at all.
Oh, nice. Look, Michael, it is a privilege to learn from you. I'm a big fan. And but before we start and ask more questions, can you just introduce yourself to our viewers, please?
My name is Michael, and I've been dropshipping for maybe between 4 and 5 years now. I started off, as we all do, we stumble across a video on YouTube, and then we go down a rabbit hole, we take some action, and then before we know it, we're selling some products, drop shipped from our eBay store. And there's that like light bulb moment where you're like, okay, this process works. So I've been doing that for 4 or 5 years. I've also been mentoring and coaching in various different communities. And just recently, within the last 12 months, I've become a co-owner at Sale Freaks, which was the dropshipping software where it all started for me. So it's kind of like a dream come true. And as a drop shipper, I can make all those improvements and add all those features and start working on that stuff to better the service and better it for myself and also for our clients. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment.
Amazing. I can't wait. This is going to be fun. So thank you so much for the introduction. And I want to ask you a few questions about your seller's journey.
Sure.
Because I think, the journey to independence is quite hard, many challenges, we know that. But I think it's important for everyone here to understand what are the key moments that they have to go through. And, the first key moment is to break even. And
absolutely.
I would like to ask you, how was this experience? Can you share your experience of achieving this first milestone, and how long did it take for you to break even with your first store?
Yeah, for sure. This is probably maybe different to the majority of users, right? So I had a long-term selling history on eBay, selling physical products for before I started drop shipping. This was 10, 15 years from when eBay was pretty new. So I knew the platform pretty well, which I think gave me a really good head start into drop shipping. So my situation was I actually started breaking even pretty fast. So within my first month, I was selling products. They were working really, really well, and I'd made some money. The difference here was that I started mid-October of a very, very busy Q4. Sales were booming. It was almost seemingly for me, everything that I was listing was selling. I was picking seasonal products. I was picking Christmas products, gift products, bath and beauty gift sets, things like this. And I thought, this is just incredible. This is working. I'm making so much money so quickly. I was ready to do this full time is what I thought, because it just seemed so easy. And then January hit, and things slowed down naturally because of Q4. I was still making sales. Things got a little bit harder. I was just throwing more and more products on, and actually then realized something was broken. I needed to figure something out. I knew that there was no limit to how big I could scale this, but I knew that something was broken. I knew that something wasn't quite right. And at that point, that's really where I knew that I needed to make a change. So I understood that there was definitely something in it, but I knew there was just a piece of the jigsaw that was missing for me and what I was doing.
You know, and the second major milestone is to become profitable. So after that, the feeling that you had after Q4 and then Q1, all these ups and downs, what made you realize that you could continue doing this, and how long did it take you to become profitable after learning the potential of dropshipping?
Yeah, for sure. So like I said, I knew there was something in it, but I almost got to the stage where I was ready to give up. I was thinking, this seems too good to be true. It's obviously just been a bit of the Christmas, and this doesn't actually work long term. But still, at the back of my mind, I was thinking, right, there's other people that are doing this really well. Mm-hmm. What is the difference between what they're doing and what I'm doing? Where am I going wrong? I realized at a point I was still making sales. The problem was, as I scaled up, my costs were scaling up, my software costs were scaling up. Everyone was getting paid. At this stage, I'd hired a VA. Everyone was getting paid except for me. So then I realized, like, what was I doing back then that I'm not doing right now? And I realized I needed to go back to basics. I needed to do some proper product research. I realized that I needed to start working on my titles again, because what happened was I just got lazy. Because of that Q4 thing, I was just listing any old stuff and it was working. But this isn't how I started off. What I did was doing proper product research, proper optimizing the titles, and really thinking about it. So when I started to go back to basics, I then started to see the tide change again, where I was starting to become more profitable. I had to scale backwards. I had to go back to almost come forward again. I had to strip it away back. And then I started to think about scaling things again. That's where the next challenge came. But I knew that, we're here. I use Zik Analytics. Obviously, that's why we're here. I remember that I'd used Zik Analytics way back in the beginning. And I went back, I went back to basics. I went back to Zik Analytics and then realized, wow, well, why did I stop using this? Why did I not carry on using this? But it was just laziness. It was just thinking we could throw as many products up there and they were going to sell. The problem was the sales weren't reflective of the cost of my business. So back to basics, back to Zik Analytics, and then really started using all the tools that were available to me and using them properly. At this point, I became profitable again, but the profits were much bigger than what they were in the beginning. So I almost got that feeling of, this is a game changer. This feels good. At that point,
we're recharged probably.
Yeah, 100%. And I realized all I need to do to get better and to scale up was to keep doing more of the same, more of the stuff that got me there in the beginning, but just in more volume. So obviously at a point in time, it became that I was putting a lot of hours into this, but there was that moment, and I'm talking, we could be fast forwarding 12 months, maybe longer into my journey, where I was starting to make more money doing dropshipping than I was in my 9-to-5 job. So that was the real light bulb moment of thinking, okay, this is where I have some decisions to make over my future right now and what doors could potentially open.
I know that you have multiple stores, and you mentioned briefly about scaling, and I think that's one of the major steps to reach the final milestone, to reach financial independence. Many sellers face difficulties right now to scale their business. And how did you overcome this challenge? Can you tell us? Because right now I know we have many viewers that are looking to scale their businesses, and they're looking for answers and for guidance and for tips and strategies. Maybe you could share with us a little bit of your approach to it.
Yeah, for sure. I think first of all was with being in communities and different communities, I was, I was a one store seller. I had one eBay account. It was a very strong account that I'd sold on, like I said previously, 15, I'm 20 years on eBay now. But what I seen over time was there was a lot of sellers come into dropshipping and left again because they got this store restricted. They got their income taken away from them because they only had one store, and then the thought of trying to build that up again was maybe too much for those guys. So, sort of just watching around me, I thought, right, okay, so scaling up is good, but also scaling sideways is a much better move. So I started to scale sideways, not only to increase my own revenue and my own profits, but also to protect the business from having a restriction or even just
So like, what's the right moment to scale sideways?
Yeah, so really, really good question. I think, again, some people make this move too fast, but I think once you're profitable with one store and once you really know how to keep your metrics correct with eBay and also your product research side. So this very, very much is a game of two things. It's keeping eBay happy, but also you need to have the correct product. So I feel like when you have one store mastered, this is the right time to start bringing on a second store. And when you have one store that's working well, you just have the blueprint for the second store. So the second store becomes a little bit easier than what the first one was to build up. And then the third one becomes a little bit easier than that. And then before you know it, you could have multiple stores basically running off the same blueprint, or you can use some of those stores to experiment with, different ideas, different suppliers, and you're not affecting your main business so much. So you can have a little play around without really upsetting or rocking the boat too much.
Mm-hmm.
So really, as soon as you can master one account and you have everything nailed down, this is probably the best time. Lean into the momentum of when things are good. So this is another thing that I see being a problem. When things are good, people don't like to make changes or jump to the next thing. When the best time to actually start to scale is when things are good. You don't want to wait until the house falls down to start thinking about, second stores, third stores, fourth stores, because then you're scrambling, then you're panicking, and you're not in the right mindset to actually do it. You're better at doing these things when you're in a good mindset and you're making money. And the money from your first store can support your second store or the staff or the software costs and all these things.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.
For sure.
Now, I want to ask the viewers, you're watching us right now. Are you ready to become profitable and even scale your business? So pay attention, because right now it is a privilege to have Michael here. He's super experienced seller, an amazing coach. And Michael is going to show us a strategy that will help you become profitable with your dropshipping business. Right, Michael?
For sure, yeah.
I just want to add one thing, because I think one of the key challenges sellers with multiple stores face is to automate or to simplify the process. So I was wondering if you could include this, your approach to this strategy that you're about to show us.
For sure, for sure. So the way I do things is it's like a staged approach. Okay. So when you're building your first store, or you're even building your second store, for me, those first 50 items, those first 100 items, even those first 200, 250 items, I like to really dig deep and find drop shippers that are selling those items multiple times per month or over the last 14 days using, Zik Analytics, making sure they're really, really low competition. And this will supercharge your store initially, build the consistency that eBay like to see. However, when you have multiple stores and you're looking to scale up these multiple stores, there is only so much time and effort you can put into doing this manual sniping process. And even with Zik Analytics, this makes that manual process a lot quicker. But when I get to the stage where the store has built consistency, We're up to 1,000 items or 1,500 items. At this point, I need to have a lot of items. Now, the problem is the mistake that I made way back in the beginning was a lot of items didn't necessarily equal a lot of sales and a lot of profit. So I still need the quality, but I also need the volume of items listed. So the store gets consistency, and then I move to stage 2, which is to automate this process, find those items in bulk, but still retain a lot of the quality that I do if I was hand sniping those items. And this process and using all the tools available to me on Zik Analytics is how I then grow the stores, but not only grow them, also maintain them over time, because we have to rotate so many items out and so many items back in. And that's the real key of dropshipping for me, is the fact that we can't just have 1,000 items on a store and leave it sitting there for the rest of time. We have to remove non-sellers. We have to keep adding fresh products. And simply put, I just could not do this manually and maintain that without the tools that I use in Zik Analytics. So this is what we're going to show you, my strategy and how I keep those products, the limits up, but also the criteria high.
Okay, so the screen is yours.
For sure. Let's go. So I just want to give a little insight as to how I use Zik Analytics to supercharge my eBay dropshipping business. I manage multiple eBay accounts. So what I need is 2 things. I need volume. I need a lot of listings, but I also need to keep the quality of those listings high. And using Zik Analytics Pro package or Enterprise package is how I managed to do this. So number 1 for me is the bulk scanner. I can still use that to get high quality listings, but I can also get listings in bulk if I require it. So even for my non-API smaller accounts that have 500, 1,000 listings, 1,500 listings, this gives me enough to be able to spread those across multiple accounts each and every day. So I'll draw your attention down to the bottom of the screen. As you can see, I've built up a seller list of over 4,000 sellers. And over the years, we've added and removed sellers from that list. This is probably a list that's scaling back sort of 3+ maybe 4 years worth of sellers. So number 1 tip is to keep adding new sellers. The more sellers that you add to this list, the more people that you can essentially bulk scan. And it just gives you something to be able to do every single day, or your virtual assistant something to do every single day. Okay, so as you can see along the left-hand side, we've got all our sellers. We have the ability to go in and look at those one by one. Or the amazing thing on Zik Analytics allows us to do is select up to 5 sellers at once. So what I would do is I would select the 5 sellers that I want to scan. And I would do 5, 10, 15 of these daily, depending on how many listings that I need. It may even be more than this. We click the little button to scan multiple sellers, and then we can set our criteria. So depending on what I need on a daily basis, this could change. So let's say I'm looking for a lot of listings. The minimum price is low. I want to grab those high traffic items, those items that'll rank my store much better. And I also grab anything over and above that. The minimum profit I set at 0.1. At this stage, I'm not really concerned as to the overall profitability of the item. I just want to make sure that it fits my break-even criteria and it's profitable to some degree, and we can review it later. But also my repricer on Sale Freaks will reprice at the level that I want it to reprice it to. And if you know anything about drop shipping, you don't always have to be the cheapest to actually make the sale. So it doesn't bother me so much. The next one is minimum sales. I have this in it at a minimum of 2 sales in the last 30 days. This is if I want to get tons and tons of ASINs to list across multiple stores. I'm not overly worried about the minimum sales, and I can also review what I have in the folders afterwards and eliminate some of the ones that I don't like the look of, or maybe they have too much competition or something like that. So if I wanted to get the quality up, I could just change this to 4 or 5 minimum sales. And also if I was really, really wanting to home in on quality, I would look at the last 21 days, 14 days or 7 days. I would just lower that down to increase the quality. This is the beauty about Zik Analytics. One day I could be looking for one item. The next day I could be looking for a different particular set of results. I've got it all here. Really, really simple. And then all we would do is click on Prime if we sell Prime only, and then click on Scan. Over on the right hand side, then it gives us the results. Super easy. When we select the folder we want them to go to, Zik Analytics moves it straight into the folder I want it to go to, which is absolutely key to running my business. From that folder, I can then just integrate my SaleFreaks account, transfer them straight to SaleFreaks and list them pretty seamlessly, pretty easy, and just makes life a hell of a lot easier for me and speeds up the process 100x from what I was doing before when I was manually sniping eBay stores. Super straightforward, especially when running multiple eBay accounts. So as you can see, this one's moved 142, this one's moved 29, 33, 26, 58, 28, and 160. So, I mean, there's almost like 500, between 400 and 500 items that have been moved straight into a folder that we can go in and we can check. Now, the beauty about this is this only moves like 100% matches that can be matched on Amazon 100%. There is a whole world of other items that we could actually take from these sellers. Okay, so I'm going to just show you an example of this. It does take a little bit more time and a little bit more skill to know what you're doing, but it's an absolute gold mine in finding more winning products, which is obviously the name of the game, and Zik makes it super easy to do it. So if we're to click on a particular seller, it will bring us up a page like this. So it gives us the matched items, which should already be moved to our folders. And then it gives us similar items, and then it gives us not found items. So these items that are similar may be correct, may not be correct, but even if they're not 100% still the same item that matches with that seller store, it's a very good alternative a lot of the time. So these are items that we'll often list and take a chance on if we like the look of the product. We can list the ASINs again, we can move them straight into the folder, and then at that point we can send them straight across to SaleFreaks to list onto our stores, which is absolutely perfect. So just another way to find other products that maybe other people are missing or other people are looking over. The next one is the not found item. So these ones we haven't found a match on the ASIN, and we don't believe that it could be an Amazon product. Now that could be because the seller has optimized the title. It could be that the item actually isn't available on Amazon, but this gives us the opportunity to look for the item on Amazon, match it up with the ASIN, and then put it into our folder again where we can actually list it. Now, as you can see, some of these products look like they may already have a nice tidied up title, an optimized title. So these are the ones that we really want to find. This is where the gold nuggets are on Zik Analytics. Really super good. If you can take the time and find those ASINs and match them up and use the title or use Zik's title builder to further add better keywords and strengthen these titles, this is a really super cool place to go. Especially for those stores that, you know, you've got 1,000 listings, 1,500 listings, you're really struggling to find, you know, fresh items every day and remove, you know, non-selling items at the same time. So super cool option to have. We absolutely love this one. It's one that I've been a fan of for a long time. Now I manage multiple big accounts as well. API accounts that have been flagged by eBay. The only way to fight back a flag on eBay is by listing more products. So it's difficult to get the amount of products, or should I say it was difficult to get the amount of products that I need prior to Zik Analytics bringing out this awesome tool, which is the autopilot. Now, I'm going to show you the autopilot. It's also worth noting the turbo scanner is an awesome option as well. Check it out, but autopilot for me is the one. This is the one that I use the most. So I'm going to show you it here. So you can just see a scan that I actually did last month in December at the end of the month, and I got 10,000 items from that. Now, generally speaking, if I'm doing such a big scan like that, I won't do it every single month or every single day. I'll do it like every couple of weeks and then I'll delete it. Zik has this awesome feature as well where each new scan will exclude the previously found products, so you get less duplicates. It's really good. Super cool feature. So if I start a new scan, I'll show you how that works. So we just click new scan. We can name the scan. We can select our marketplace, wherever you sell on. I'm selling on ebay.co.uk, so I use amazon.co.uk. This is the amazing thing that I love about this. There's so many options that we can look at. We can filter the results right down to include only the best quality, or if we need bulk listings, we can go even bigger. We can even narrow down the categories that we want to look at. So let's say, for example, I love this, coming up to Christmas in Q4. I would maybe look at just toys. For example, we look at toys. We maybe look at other stuff that could be for gifts like watches or beauty, stuff like this. It's now February when I'm recording this video, so we'll be coming into the summer months, coming into the lighter weather. This is a super cool option that I would use then for looking for home and garden, pet supplies. You can look really generic, or you can look really, really niche as well. So like coming into this sort of month, I would look at garden, outdoors, home and garden. Click on save. We can go into the review count. You can keep your review count super, super high if you want to narrow it down, or you can just go for the minimum maximum meets option. It also gives you the super feature of being able to only select prime items, and also you can select it to include similar items as well. So again, if you want to be a bit more speculative, and you want to test some products that maybe aren't already on the market, you can be the first to get on those items and build that traction. So slightly different method to sniping items that are already working well. I like to include some similar items to see if I can be the first one on the listing and be able to gain that traction to make it harder for people to snipe me. So again, you can narrow down your competition. So minimum 0 competition, maximum, I like to look at a maximum of 20 competition. I want to be on the first page and the second page on eBay. Minimum, maximum sales, again, like I mentioned before. If you want to go super high quality, I like to see a minimum 5 sales. And then you've got your prices, you've got your ROI, you've got your sell-through rate, your success rate, the sales date range, and then the number of products that you want to have. So let's say I'm looking for 200 products to list to a store today. I can be a bit more critical on the ratings here, but I'm just going to go ahead and click start. It's going to be really down to yourself and what you need, which store you're listing on, how many items you're listing, as to what your criteria be. But this just makes things super, super easy, takes the thought process out of it, and it's super good for me to be able to list so many items in bulk. So this will go off. It'll be pending for a few minutes, and then you can just refresh the page. And if you're going for low search results, it generally doesn't take that long to finish up. Okay, so a few minutes later, we've got our scan complete. We've got our 200 products. We can just click into the scan and see what it's brought up. As you can see, a lot of match products, a lot of similar products, and all the criteria down the right-hand side. So you can, pick and choose what you need. Or if you're happy enough, which a lot of the time I am, I trust in these products for the purpose that I need them for, I'm just going to select all. And then what I can do is upload all and send them straight to my SaleFreaks account. And I can also choose to use the supplier title or the eBay title if you feel that some of those titles are optimized to be really, really super, super safe. On this side, if you haven't optimized the title yourself, I do recommend just to use the supplier title, or if you want, you can export a CSV file and optimize the titles before loading them onto your dropshipping software. You can also exclude Vero brands and exclude keywords. And then all I do is just click on upload listings. That'll go straight to my SaleFreaks, ready to list, and job done. Super, super easy, efficient, just the best software to scale your eBay dropshipping business.
That was amazing. Thank you, Michael, for sharing this, for sharing so much knowledge with us. Really, I appreciate it. And I know that our viewers also appreciate that. Is there anything else you want to share with us before we go?
For sure, yeah. First of all, again, thank you for having me on your channel. It's a real pleasure to be able to talk to you and also speak to the wider audience out there. And yeah, if anyone wants to get in touch with me, we'll drop a link to my Instagram and also the SaleFreaks Instagram. If anyone
Definitely,
isn't aware,
we're going to put the link here in the description. Everyone, guys and girls, follow Michael. Really, he's an excellent coach. He knows everything.
Thank you so much, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. All right. So what do you think? Tell us who you want us to interview next by commenting below. Keep moving forward and see you next time.